I'm hoping my Wi-Fi is working okay. That's why I came on a minute early. I came on a minute early to see that and to get some of you guys on here so that I can go live on time. So let's see how this goes. If you are watching during this little 30-second time that you're watching the recording, just fast forward to all the good stuff. For those of you guys that are live, I promise I will get started here at 7:30. I just wanted to go on and test out my Wi-Fi and do all that good stuff. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening. I'm really excited to be here to talk to you guys. Please share this, tag your teams. Hopefully I can offer, even if it's one thing that you guys pick up and you say, I just had an aha moment. My life is complete. So I'm going to wait here. Oh, okay, it's 7:30, so I'm going to go live. Let me get my notes. And I don't have too many notes because usually I like to just kind of say it as I go. So my name is Andie Teeter. I am a Superstar Director with Scentsy. I've been a Superstar Director for about 3 years. I love to recruit. I love sponsoring. It's one of my strong suits and my passions. And I'm really excited tonight to talk to you. It's going to kind of be a little bit of a hodgepodge tonight. So what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about one way that I've used to recruit using the catalog. And then we're going to talk about, so I talk a lot in my trainings. And for those of you guys that haven't seen, I do have a YouTube. I'm going to post the link after I'm done. But I talk a lot about recruiting and how I do it or where I meet people and all that good stuff. What I say, I'm not going to talk about that too much tonight, but what I am going to go over is objections, because you know how many times you have asked somebody and they're like, well, I would, but, and you're like, well, what do I say back to that? Well, I'm here to tell you tonight some things that you can say back, some things that work for me. And then maybe a little inspiration if we have some time, some motivation to get you to go out and take one step at a time to make your dreams happen and grow that team big. So, first I want to tell you guys something about myself that I always share during every training because it's very important. I suffer from awful anxiety and panic attacks. I am far from being perfect. I'm super weird. I like weird things like kung fu movies, and I'm a Star Wars nerd. And I use nerd as a term of endearment to myself because it's a good thing, I think. I have a lot of quirks about me, but I tell you this because it makes me me. Because in order to sponsor anyone, you have to be comfortable with yourself and understand that we are not going to all be a one-size-fits-all person, but you will attract your tribe if you are authentic to yourself, and that's what makes it cool. And I'm here to tell you that you can have diseases and illnesses and things that you're really working through that are hard, and you could still do this and be successful at it. And that's why I always share with you guys what things I'm going through, because when I do trainings, I want to be authentic and let you know if I can do this, you can too. So that's why I share this stuff with you guys. So let's go into what I do a lot to sponsor. So first, we're talking about how we can use the catalog, okay? What I like to do is I like to use high ticket items to be able to book parties. And I know I'm not here to talk about book parties, so just hold on, okay? So what I like to do is I like to get my customers into that mindset, and here's some wording that I might send to them. Hey, we have a new catalog out. What are some higher end products in our catalog that you've been really loving that you would like to get a discount on? So who's not going to answer that back, right? Because they're like, why is she asking me if I want a discount? Is she going to give me one of her discounts? So they might message you back with, oh my gosh, I would love an air purifier. I've been eyeing them up. Or I would love an oil diffuser. I would love one of those packages that has the 2 warmers and 6 bars, but I can't afford it. And that is when I will try to book a party with them. So follow with me here. So I will tell them, hey, listen, and I never ever say, oh, you only have to do $200, because that $200 party is not going to get them to the high-end stuff, right? They want half off an oil diffuser, that's 2 half offs. Do they want half off an air purifier? That's 3 half offs. So what I'm trying to do is I'm telling them, hey, listen, if you collect 8 to 12 or more average orders, an average order is around $65. If you collect 8 to 12 average orders, here's what you can get. Starting out at $500 party, you can get 75 plus in free stuff, 3 half offs, and then you might use your perpetual reward to give them an extra bump, right? You can do that. Or you can just give them an extra half off, making it 4 half offs. That part, not so important. The important part is you want them to strive for that higher end party, that $500 minimum. You don't want to tell them about that $200, because what happens? You tell somebody about what their minimum is and they will strive for the minimum. If you teach them to reach for the stars, they are going to reach for the stars, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to set up an online party, a home party, a bag party, a little bit of all those. Doesn't matter to me. The more the better, right? So you're going to set up those things, and you're going to have a party for them. Now, I'm not going to teach you about how to have the party, because that's a different training altogether. Now, what happens when you have hostesses that do really, really good? Okay? So they, even if they do 350 or they do 500 or they do 700. At that point, I will say to them, hey, listen, I've got this really great special. Obviously, you have a great starting base to start your Scentsy. I can get you a kit for free if you would like to start doing what I do. And you can still get some of your rewards. So you can still use your half offs to get those oil diffusers or whatever. Let's keep the party open. Well, first, okay, so I say that. And then they say, you know what? Some of them say, I don't really want to. I just want to stick with this. Totally cool. Not everybody likes chocolate cake, guys. Not everybody's going to say yes. It's okay. It's okay. So then the people that do say, you know what? Let's give it a try. I say, you know what? You're so close to 1,000. You might as well just go for it. Let's go get 8 to 10 more orders. You leave their party open. I always leave it open till 3 days before the end of the month, and I start these parties on the 10th. I always start them on the 10th. The 15th is a great time to have a party, because a lot of people are getting paid on the 15th, and the 1st is usually the paycheck that they use for rent or mortgages, so they tend to have a little more money on the 15th, okay? So I will say, let's leave this open, and you might as well strive to certify. What's going to happen when you do that is you're not only going to hit your shooting star, but you're going to get your first promotion and raise, right? Now, will everybody hit 1,000? No. And that's okay, because then what you do is you close their party out, they get their commission, then you talk to them about booking 3 to 5 more parties that next month to get them certified. That is how I've hit Annual Mentor the past couple of years, simply by, and that's how this year, every single person I've recruited, except for one, and she's $120 away, every single one has hit certified or above. Every single one. And that's basically how I've done it. Some people have decided, a couple of them have decided to join on their own without me doing this, and they do the $99 kit, whatever, but majority, that is how, right there. So let's talk about objections, because a lot of us hear objections, which, by the way, if you guys are writing stuff down, I can't see it till after. My computer won't let me see it. So please know that I'll try to answer your questions at the end. I'm going to try to go quick. So let's talk about objections. My team, we had a meeting the other day with some of our directors and above, and we came up with these objections to talk about, and these are mostly what we hear. So I want to go through them and then what I usually say, because that'll help you out whenever you want to counter what they're saying, right? Now, mind you, if you say these things back and they still say, you know what, I don't want to, don't take it to heart. Just move on. Keep them on the back burner, because that's your plan B. You should always have a plan B, C, D, and E. That's your plan B. So, guys, I can't tell you how many times I have sat for a year to year and a half, still following up every 2 to 3 months with people about joining. And they say, not right now, or they might not answer me right away. They never say no, because if they say no, I won't follow up with them, right? Because I don't want to bug them. But if they keep saying, not right now, now's not the right time, that's totally cool with me, guys. You know why? I don't force anyone to join, because if you try to force someone to join and try to talk them into it too much and then they do it and they don't really want to, what happens? They join and they're not ready, and they're not going to do what they were meant to do with this business because they weren't ready to join. Also, really important about what I just said, I do not give kits away. Your director, superstar director, they might have taught you that, and that's fine if that's working for them, and by all means you can try to do it, but there is a reason it is called earn a kit. It is because they should be earning their kit. That kit was set up to be earned by the hostess, not just to be given. I have found that people I have given it to, I quit doing that because they do not work as hard and they do not come in with the ambition that these other people have. That's just what happened to me. Does not mean that you can't do it and it's wrong. I'm just saying that's what I believe. So here's objections. Number one, not enough friends. Oh, I just moved to this area. I don't have a lot of friends. I say, you know what? When I started, and this is the truth, when I started, I didn't know anybody where I lived. We're a military family. I didn't know anybody there. I knew one girl, and it helped. Scentsy helped me make friends. What a great way for you to not only start your new business, but to be able to make friends on top of that using this ability that you have with Scentsy. Number two, can't afford it. Some people see us at events, if you have a lot of inventory, and they assume that we just out of pocket bought all this stuff, right? We want to let them know that number one, we have the free kit they can earn, so they don't even need a bunch of money up front. But number two, they do not need to buy. So the inventory that I got, I did a $12,000 softball fundraiser with 28 girls. I gave them all prizes, and when I was done, I still had over $1,000 in free rewards and a bunch of half-offs to use, and that is how I built my stock. We don't need a bunch of money to build stock, and we don't want to make people feel like they need to buy a bunch of stock. I, as a superstar director right now, do not carry stock. The very little stock I have is bars. If somebody wants to come by and pick out of there, I've been running my whole business online. I have no need for stock, and you know what? I don't want to do events like I used to. And that's the other, and I'm going to get a little off subject here, but that's the beauty of this business too, guys, is you will run your business like I did for years, and it'll be great for you, and it'll fill your cup, and it'll be wonderful, and you will thrive, and then you'll come to the point where you need to change your business a little bit because it doesn't fit into your life, and that is awesome. There are a million ways you can run this business and be successful, and that's cool. Okay. So number three, not enough time. A lot of people say, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I wouldn't have enough time for this. I come back and I say, this is the perfect way for people who are busy. Matter of fact, most of our directors and above have a full-time job. They do this on the side to make their mortgage payment or mortgage and car payment or whatever they're doing it, for on the side. And this is a great way I can teach you all different kinds of ways that you can take your business basically on the road with you or whatever you need to do to make it happen. But you do this business and be successful being a busy person. Because busy people usually, I don't know, sometimes they're better at it. I mean, we're all busy, right? The other thing kind of goes into that. I have a full-time job. A lot of people say that, and I'll come back and say, hey, listen, most of our team does. You can have a full-time job. This is the perfect side gig because you don't need to clock in and out. This is the perfect side gig that you can have for working full-time. So, another thing is, I live in a small town. I don't know anybody there, or not. We already went over, I don't know anybody. I live in a small town and there's not enough people. I started in a very small town with 30 some consultants. Okay. I was supposedly doomed from the start. Everybody said, you're never going to do well. There's too many consultants here. It's a small town. Guess what? The internet has an abundance of people you can meet outside of that town. People are turning 18 every single day. And guess what? There's towns around the town that you live in too. So that's what I always say to those people is, I run most of my business online, so you don't even have to have, I don't sell to anyone local to where we just moved. Everything has been online. And that's a good thing. You can tell people that when they're saying, I live in a small town, and using that as a way that maybe they think they won't be successful. Some people say, I already tried direct sales. And I say, me too. I sold Avon in college and I was awful at it. And I always just urge people, listen, I understand you might have tried a different company, but our company is totally different. I ask you to give it a try because it is a little bit different than a lot of companies and how they work. So that's something you could say that. Not a salesperson. I hear this all the time too. I'm not a salesperson. And I'm like, bro, me either. And here, let me explain. You have to be friendly. You have to be motivated. To me, that's a good salesperson. But a lot of people equate salespeople to icky. A lot of companies like Amway, It Works, Beachbody, they've made this a little bit icky. No offense to anybody that does those companies. I'm sure you're not icky if you're here and you're with Scentsy too. But I'm just saying they have taught their people to be a little bit icky with the hey girl approach and needing to be super flashy. And I always tell people, listen, I don't want you to be that type of salesy kind of person. I totally understand where you're coming from. You seem like a nice, authentic person, and that's the kind of people I'm looking for. Last one, a pyramid scheme. So I really don't say too much back to people like this because they need educated more on what a pyramid scheme is, and I really don't. It's a hard thing because you don't want to argue with some people because some people, they believe whatever they read on what their cousin said on social media these days. They don't believe facts anymore. So it's really hard to combat these things. We know it's not a pyramid scheme because pyramid schemes are illegal. They don't have products. When back in the 80s, pyramid schemes were legal and there was no product. It was one of those things where like, hey, get 5 people to join your team and each of them give you $100 and you keep $90 out of that 100. And then if you get more people, and there was no product, it was super sketch. And they really gave us a bad name too. So I try not to combat that too much because I don't want to get wrapped up in the he said, she said, the lies, the whatever. I just say, listen, one thing that recently happened is Disney backs us into letting them into their park. Okay, we all heard Kevin, I think, just talked about it. I didn't even get a chance to see Kevin, and I feel so bad. I'm going to have to go back and listen to his recording because I was writing notes. But we are in Disney parks. How legit, like Scentsy, Disney would not let us into their parks and partner with us the way they have if we were a pyramid scheme, okay? So I guess you could say that. You could just say simply that, like let them know, hey, listen, we are legit and this is why. So what are you guys going to do when you leave here? Well, I really hope you use this technique that I told you, but I also hope that you really dive deep inside. A lot of us are choosing to have fear let us get beat down. We are not choosing to have courage over fear. We're letting that fear interfere with our greatness. You guys are great. You're here for a reason. You're learning for a reason. You are here listening to me talk because you're hoping that you can just get one thing to take with you. And here's this one thing I want you to take with you. The tools and the training and everything is there. What is holding you back is something that you need to search really deep inside. What's holding you back from taking action is something deep within. And you have to figure out what it is, because guess what? Your kids are watching you. Your family is watching you. Your next recruit is out there watching you. If you choose to let yourself down by listening to that little fear monster on your shoulders, think about all the people watching you, especially those of us that have children, that we are supposed to be the example. If you quit, if you don't try your hardest, you're not only letting yourself down, you're letting them down. You're telling them that it's okay to give up on your hopes and dreams. because things are hard. Sometimes this business will get hard for you guys. But then you've got to dig down deep inside and say to yourself, why am I here? Maybe some of you guys think it's silly to feel the way you do about, maybe some of you want to eventually go to an in-person event like Reunion and walk the stage as a director. That's not silly. Just because it's not my dream or somebody else's dream doesn't mean your dream's silly. Maybe you want to be somebody that can help others get to where you strive to be. So you getting there will show others that they can do it too. That's not silly. That's not silly at all. Maybe you just want somebody to tell you that you did a good job. Maybe you just need to feel better about yourself. That's not silly. Guys, when I started, I was a stay-at-home mom and a wife, and there was something missing. I had everything that I wanted, but there was something missing. So was it everything? And then I was like, you know what? I needed to go back and do something for myself, and I didn't want to miss my son's first steps. I didn't want to miss that. I wanted to be able to watch him get on the bus, watch him get off the bus. I wanted to do all those things. So, and we needed the money really bad. And when I started Scentsy, I didn't know what was ahead of me. All I knew is I had to keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep going, and I couldn't give up because I realized how amazing every step that I went and every person I met with Scentsy showed me how amazing it could be, and I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to go back to, I don't ever want to go back to a 9-to-5 job. You guys might like 9-to-5 jobs. I hated it. I don't want to be micromanaged. I don't want to wake up super early to get to work and miss out on conversations with my son. I don't want that. I don't want to feel not recognized. I don't want to not earn free trips. Let's just be real for 1 second. I don't want to not earn free trips. No other business that I ever worked for or had gave me free trips, okay? So let's just be real for a second. I need to be traveling. Mama needs to travel. But if I could tell you that girl back in 2012 who was super insecure, not sure of herself, didn't know where things were going to go, didn't have any experience in this, didn't know what she was doing, didn't hit her shooting star, fast forward to today, is now making 6-figure money because she didn't give up. Yes, that's me. Because I didn't give up on myself. I wouldn't let it happen. You see me being a hot mess. Some of you guys know how bad my anxiety is. You have seen it firsthand. If I can sit here and do this, and I joined when Scentsy was not in the place it is now, if I could do that then, what? The world is your oyster, guys. Man, the stuff. I have not cussed once tonight. Thank you very much. I would like for everybody to give me a round of applause. I almost did, but I didn't. Aren't you proud of me? Turned a new leaf in 2022. So speaking of 2022, are you going to leave here and choose courage over fear? Are you going to leave this and take action? Are you going to leave here and look in the mirror every morning and tell yourself that you are worthy of more? Or are you going to sit and be mediocre for the rest of your life? Because I don't think you showed up to this training to be mediocre. That ain't why you're here. It ain't why you're here. You know why you're here? Because you want change. You want change. I know you do. You know you do. And you know you're worth it. And if you have to wake up every damn morning, oh, my first cuss word, okay. Every morning and look in that mirror and tell yourself that you're worth it. Write yourself a note saying, I am worthy. Then do it. I don't care what you have to do. Start with asking one person to host that party every single day. And start with asking one person to join your team every single day. And build from there. That's it. And it's all right there in the catalog, like we talked about before. Using those high ticket items to book parties so that people can get their stuff half off and then asking them to join. Those steps could take you from a team of 1 now to a team of 30 to 40 in 3 to 6 months or less. It could take you from making $200 a month to $1,500 to $2,000 a month in 3 to 6 months. But you got to go out there and ask people, and you got to go out there and build your network big. And building networks has nothing to do with Scentsy or business. It's just making friends, and I talk about all the time. But if you're not willing to do that, and you're going to sit and say, well, what if they think I'm stupid, or what if they say something wrong, or what if, all these what ifs that we tell ourselves all the time. If you're going to sit there and do that to yourself, do you want to be sitting there when you're, 70, 80, 90 years old thinking, man, I wish I really would have done something with that Scentsy because I had it in me. I just didn't take action, and I let that fear conquer me. I just didn't have the courage. I just wasn't resilient when I failed. I just didn't think I'm worthy. I just didn't think I was good enough. I just didn't realize what I had. I don't want you guys to be saying those words. So promise me this, tomorrow's a new day, take the first step, 1 foot in front of the other, and just keep marching forward. And then I will see you on that next incentive trip. I will see you at Scentsy Reunion, walking down that stage, or being on the screen, whatever we do next. I don't know, hopefully it is in person, but you never know with this crazy world. And that's all I got for you guys today. So I hope I said one thing to make you guys want to get up there and move and take action. And you guys should stay tuned next, because live on the page is going to be Steffi Malborough. Steffi is not only one of my best friends, but she is also the person who sponsored me. And now we're superstar directors, which is a whole other thing. You guys go find accountability partners and work with them too, because they work. Trust me, they work. You guys have an awesome evening. I love you all, sisters, brothers of Scentsy, of Scentsy-land. I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys have an awesome day and evening and the rest of the week. Bye, guys. Know your worth.